Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're looking at a really fascinating short essay by Oluyomi Oladevid. It's a piece that attempts to look at macroeconomics, but through a highly individualized psychological lens. Let's dive right into this unique perspective on global wealth disparities.
So can a mindset shift actually change global economics? It's a massive question, right? When we think about the widening global wealth gap, we usually think about systemic issues, trade policies, taxation, globalization, institutional frameworks, the whole shebang. But what if that gap is also heavily influenced by the way individuals process their daily challenges? Could something as internal as a mindset shift actually ripple outward to change global economics? Well, that's exactly the premise we're exploring today through our source material.
Section 1. The Global Wealth Gap, a Growing Economic Divide. This persistent disparity in income and wealth across the global economy serves as the starting line for the arguments we're about to unpack. Section 2. Meet Oluyomi Oladevid, Global Development Strategist. Understanding who she is provides the essential lens through which we can view her work.
According to her own biographical notes, Oluyomi Oladevid is a Nigerian thinker, strategist, and author. She explicitly states that she loves people and is deeply concerned about global development and transformation. She describes her core professional drive as generating solutions, influencing policy, and providing clarity. And absolutely crucial to her perspective is her worldview. She's guided by a deep faith. She notes that her Father God owns and rules the universe and serves as the driving force, the wheel within her wheels, in her life. So this blend of economic pragmatism and profound faith heavily informs exactly how she views human potential.
Just looking at her extensive writing archive from 2022 alone really illustrates the breadth of her focus. We see titles like Truth and Economic Justice, Imperative for a Circular Economy, and Nature and Gender Justice. She writes frequently on social justice and comparative economic systems, as well as peace, conflict, and resilience. So she's a writer consistently focused on macro-level justice, development, and societal resilience. She isn't just looking at isolated financial metrics, she is looking at how human beings operate within grand economic systems.
Section 3. The Blame Game Theory, Diagnosing the Mindset.
Okay, so the crucial point is her opening diagnosis. She writes, "The income and wealth gap between rich and poor people in the global economy may likely grow wider." She doesn't mince words here. She is issuing a direct warning that the economic divide we see today is at severe risk of expanding further. But it's the condition she attaches to this warning that forms the absolute crux of her entire theory.
She argues that this widening of the gap is highly likely if a specific behavioral shift doesn't occur. She creates this stark contrast between two mindsets, blame games versus solutions thinking. She suggests that when individuals, specifically those she identifies as the poor in the global economy, remain caught in a cycle of assigning blame for their economic reality, they remain economically stagnant. The required pivot, she argues, is entirely internal. It's a complete shift towards solutions thinking.
A key element here is the specific terminology she uses to describe this internal shift. She calls it a shift in thought flow. Thought flow represents the continuous sequence and direction of an individual's cognitive focus. Basically, where is your mental energy directed? Is your thought flow rushing toward who is at fault for a problem, or is it flowing toward how to navigate out of it? Her theory posits that how people direct their cognitive energy, their thought flow, has a direct, measurable impact on their ultimate economic outcomes.
Which brings us to Section 4, Shifting to Solutions Thinking, from problems to opportunities. Once you stop that thought flow of blame, where does the energy go?
Well, she frames it beautifully in this quote. If there are many problems, then there are opportunities to create many viable solutions. Let that reframe sink in for a second. She's taking a landscape that might look totally bleak, a landscape full of many problems, and completely flipping the script. In her framework, an abundance of problems actually equals an abundance of opportunities. It's a canvas for innovation. By shifting the thought flow, the obstacle literally becomes the way forward.
Let's expand on this individual mindset theory outward to see how it works mechanically. Section 5. Finding Rewards and Problems, the Cycle of Opportunity.
Let's look at how this builds step by step, according to her logical progression. Step 1 is simply the existence of problems. But instead of playing the blame game here, the solutions thinker moves to step 2, identifying the opportunities hidden within those problems. This naturally leads to step 3, the active creation of solutions. And finally, creating solutions results in step 4, rewards. It's a chain reaction. By identifying a problem and refusing to get stuck in blame, you kick off a sequence that she believes ends in tangible economic reward. This is exactly how she connects individual psychology to macroeconomic development.
She distills this entire economic and psychological philosophy into one final, highly impactful maxim. She writes, "In problems lay opportunities, in solutions lay rewards." It is a concise, powerful summary of the blame game theory. It suggests that economic mobility isn't just about external resources, it is deeply tied to how we choose to view the obstacles right in front of us.
So we end with a question for you to take away from this explainer. What rewards might we unlock if we shift our own thought flow towards solutions today? Whether you're looking at the global wealth gap or simply a challenge in your own community, Oluyomi Oladevid's framework challenges us all to evaluate our mindset. Are we playing the blame game, or are we mining our problems for the opportunities they might hold? Thanks so much for exploring this theory with me.